Well, let's talk Kobe. Shaq, what will his legacy be?
Number one, the greatest Laker player ever. It was amazing that he played one franchise for 20 years, did it his way, accomplished everything he set out to accomplish. Remember when he first come in, he said he wanted to be better than Michael Jordan. Like, young fella, hold up. But, passed him up in points, one championship less than what Mike has. But, to be the greatest Laker ever, I think that's an amazing accomplishment. They got Kareem, they got Wilt, they got Magic. So, I think him going out as the greatest Laker ever and going out the way he did, I think it's, a remarkable. Especially a guy that didn't go to college, came from high school.
Yeah.
And to accomplish all that coming from high school, not going to college, I think is great.
What will be your lasting memory, Kenny?
Whew, I think there's a lot. But, the guy who shot 3 air balls his second game, his second year in the playoffs, and then turns that into being one of the most clutch players in the history of the game, like the mental fortitude for that. But even more importantly, I think the Hurricane Katrina game that I did and that he played in was just, I saw a different side of him at that time, a benevolent side. Also, I saw the competitor. We're on a bus, Ernie, true story. And this is a benefit for Hurricane Katrina. All day we've been giving out all kinds
we were all there.
All kinds of gifts and all kinds of things to make people's lives better. So I'm getting on the bus and I'm thanking everybody for coming, and we're about to play the game, and I appreciate you coming. He gets up in the middle of it and says, but I'm just letting y'all know I'm playing serious tonight. And if you're not playing serious, I'm going to hand it to you. I'm like, there he is. Yeah. Who does that with 12 other all-stars sitting on the bus? But Kobe Bryant said, there's the competitive person, and that's who he is.
The one thing about sports is the ultimate competition. You're competing against other guys. He's been the ultimate competitor. It's been a privilege and an honor for me to watch him play. Shaq says something, you come in, people forget those air balls and things. When he came in, he struggled in the beginning, then he turned into one of the 10 greatest players ever. He's an interesting guy. People, because in our regular life, people are like, well, how is this guy? How is this guy? And I can honestly say, I've met Kobe probably 10 times in my life. He's always been cordial. He's always been somewhat friendly, but I don't know him at all. I think he's been distant. I think it's been fun watching him let people see his personality this last year. But the bottom line is, he's just been one of the greatest players ever, and it's been an honor and a privilege.
And you know what? Back when he announced this was going to be his final year, and we did the sit-down here in Atlanta when the Lakers came through town, and I just think he was so content with the decision, content with the fact that he was going out at this point on his terms, and that was...
Well, let me piggyback on that a little bit. So they had me doing interviews always talking about Kobe. And the guy asked me, and first of all, I wasn't as great as Kobe was. I was pretty good. And he says, what do you think Kobe feels? I said, he feels relief. Because Ernie, and Shaq, no disrespect to Kenny, Shaq can understand because he's one of the greatest ever. It's such a humbling feeling when you can't play anymore. Yeah. Because the greatest thing when you're great, you're like, they can't do anything to stop me. And Shaq struggled his last couple of years. I struggled my last couple of years. And, let's be realistic. Kobe hasn't played the last 2 years, 3 years, basically. And I think he feels such a sense of relief because you just want it to be over. Because when you're a superstar like Shaq and Kobe, when you just can't go out there and just kick people butt every night, it's a different animal.
Yes, it is a different animal. I could attest to that. When I was in Boston averaging 6 points, it just didn't feel right.
You having 6 points in Boston?
6 points.
Wow. Well, that's 4 more than you had. That's 2 more than you had in the tournament.
I was playing with Ray Allen, Paul, and
no, but that would be humbling.
My job was just to set picks and get rebounds. So, like, when at the end of the game, I look at the stat sheet, 6 points, it didn't feel right. So when I tore my Achilles actually a year early, I was like, I'm not coming back. And Chuck, you're right, it was a relief. But after that, it was different because, like, I would wake up at 9 or 10 and not have anything to do. No phone calls, no anything. So I was doing stuff that I never did before. Like, I'd go out and get the paper in my house coat and just have a good time. Get my boat and go fishing. I was, like, bored. I was like,
really bored. And that's what's going to be interesting for me for Kobe.
Next chapter?
Yeah, because he don't have any hobbies. Like, you know, you see celebrities all the time doing something away from the game. I've never seen Kobe in any, like, oh, Kobe Bryant was at the beach one day. Yeah. Kobe Bryant was fishing one day. Kobe Bryant was playing golf one day.
I'm sure he has hobbies.
I know that, but I'm saying, but have you ever seen, like you see, oh, Michael Jordan's playing golf. Oh, you see Paul George is fishing. You know, or guys, you see like, oh, he's surfing in Hawaii. I've never seen Kobe. And the thing that guys have to realize is he's only 40 years old. He's not even 40. But you retired at such a young age. You got to find something to do with that spare time. That's what's going to be interesting to me.
Well, I'm going to put it out there right now. Shaq, Ernie, Kenny, Chuck, slide over. Kobe Bryant on the end. The Jackson 5 right there.
You know what? First of all, I'm going to go out on a limb right here. I don't care what David Levy says. Kobe, I'm looking right into that camera right there. If you want a job at TNT, you got it. Don't worry about David Levy. Ernie Johnson run things around here in Atlanta. But let me tell you something. He's second in command. If you want a job at Turner Sports, just let us know.
We'll make room.
We're
making room, man. That was the Jackson. You could imagine our show with him.
That was a very interesting conversation. I think one of the things I did not anticipate hearing out of that whole thing was that Shaq owns a house coat.